Who knows the noise of when my camera turns on and off? So it makes two different noises. When I turn it off, Hoot sits up, he starts to spin and he gets excited because he knows I'm done filming. It's actually really fucking cute. Smart fucking dog. All right, so I'm just off to the gym right now. Gonna go do a quick lower body workout, but first, before we head out, we're gonna have a light snack. All right, ready to lift.
There's a distance between us. It's getting hard to reach out. Haven't seen you in seasons, but all I hear is your voice. I know my limits, you can break me down, but I'll stay till the finish line. And I've been counting minutes for quite some time now, just to see you again. And I've been counting days to get away, to see you again, see you again. Been fighting ways to get away, to see you again, see you again.
Alright, just finished up my workout. I'm gonna quickly head to the post office. I gotta mail something out, and then we're gonna chat about today's work. Lower body day today. Firstly, I started off with some stiff-legged deadlifts. For these, I wanted to target my hamstrings a little bit more, so that is why I'm doing a stiff-legged deadlift as opposed to a Romanian deadlift. Romanian deadlifts are almost identical, just your knees are a little bit more bent, so you're gonna engage your glutes a lot more. But because we were targeting hamstrings for this first exercise, I decided to keep my knees a little bit more straight, still keep a slight bend in your knees, but by keeping your knees a little bit more straight, you're gonna get a little bit more recruitment from your hamstrings. So for the lowering portion of this exercise, I like to go down very slow. This allows me to really feel that stretch in your hamstrings, and I try to kind of explode when I stand back up. So pretending again that I am leg pressing the floor away from myself, and then just squeeze at the top and really try to pretend that you are using your lower half to stand back up versus allowing your back to take over. So like, I know they look pretty basic, but they are actually a very complicated exercise. I find that most people get stuck because they don't understand that it is a hip hinge movement. So I've talked about this before with my squats. You want to bend at your hips. A cue for this is to stick your butt out as far as you can. This is your hip, your butt right here, the bend in my hand. So if I'm standing straight up like this, you want to bend at your hip. So push your butt back like this, and that's how you should go, and then you just stand back up like that. Does that make sense? So push your butt back as far as you can, and that'll really help. Then we moved on to, what did we do? We just did a leg press today. Leg press, again, seems to be like a basic exercise, but there is still quite a bit of technique when it comes to leg press. So for this, I mimic my squat stance and how I would go to squat down. So my foot placement is very similar, where I have about a shoulder width distance apart and my feet are slightly turned out. So when you come down to the leg press, you want to make sure that your butt stays on the bench. So many people's butts will raise up as a way to get a further range of motion, but if your butt comes up and you're trying to get a little bit deeper with the press, this just means that you have a flexibility issue. It may be in your hips, or you may have poor dorsiflexion. This is your ankle mobility and you need to work on this. If your butt starts to come up, don't go as low. Only go as low as you need to keep your butt on the bench. And another thing you want to make sure is that you are opening up your hips, same kind of method that you do when you are squatting. So when you leg press down, make sure that you are rotating your hips open or driving your knees outward, and that'll also help allow you to reach better depth with these as well. Then we moved on to a single leg press, just on the side. So a side single leg press, I guess. And this one is definitely meant to target the outsides of your glutes much more. So make sure that you're in a comfortable position. I don't turn my pressing foot completely flat like this. It is turned out just a little bit like that. That just allows me to ensure that my knees aren't sore, because I find that my knees do get a little bit sore from this exercise if my foot placement isn't in the proper place. So just kind of play with your foot placement to ensure that you aren't hurting your joints at all. And as you'll see when I rotate onto the other side, because my right side of my glute really struggles to activate when I work my glutes, I am actually touching my butt. That is not because I'm super proud of my butt or anything like that. By actually touching the area that you are working, it actually really helps you make that mind muscle connection. So for me today is my butt. I have no problem activating the left side. That's why you don't see me touching my left cheek, but my right cheek, it really struggles to activate. So that's why I will touch it every now and then. Then I moved on to a new exercise. I'll talk about the level of comfortability with this exercise after we finish going over the workout. But this is a new exercise. I think I saw it on Brittany Lesser's video. It might have been Brittany's. I'm pretty sure it was, but I don't even know what it's called. It looked really cool, and I saw a couple of my friends do it yesterday at the gym, so I decided to give it a try today. And oh my god, it was very, very difficult, a little bit awkward to film. As you can tell, you really don't get much range of motion, but you really don't need it. As high as I'm going is as high as I can go while properly activating my glutes. Obviously, this is a glute exercise because it's awkward as fuck, but if I go any higher, then I am definitely going to be using my back much more, so that's why I am not pushing up as high. Then what did I move on to? Oh, glute steps or whatever, weighted steps, or I can't remember what these ones are called either. I call them weighted steps. So for this one, a lot of people don't like this exercise when it comes to their glutes, but I feel it quite a bit. I know I didn't at first, and I think it's because I would literally step up in a straight line like this, but I am actually implementing a hip hinge in here as well. I know it's very hard to tell where I am doing that, but as you see, when my knee comes up, I start to hinge back like this, like my butt comes back as my knee comes up. So I come up very slowly and start to hinge, or basically stick my butt out as far as I can comfortably, and then step back down and hinge back forward, and then I squeeze my glutes when I come back to the top. And then last exercise was single leg glute bridges. You really want to make sure though that you are driving through your heel. So I have my foot on the bench and I'm really pushing through my heel and squeezing my glutes to thrust myself up to the top, versus just going through the range of motion. So you really want to make sure that you are squeezing. I will bury my elbows into the ground. So I kind of pretend that I'm screwing my elbows into the ground, and this really helps me avoid sliding back, because a lot of people will slide back on this exercise. So by really like driving your elbows into the ground, it'll really hold you in place. If you find this exercise is too difficult with one leg, just make sure you put two legs down, and eventually you can work up to doing them as a single leg glute bridge. That was today's workout, you guys. Hope you liked it. Give it a try. All right, our friend Brooks found Cherry Coke Zero. I haven't tried it yet. I'm curious to see how it is. Going in. Shit, son. I'm making a mess. That's really good. I think I like the original like Coke Zero better, but variety is major key. But an 8 out of 10. Video. I wanted to take a couple of moments to discuss how to be comfortable with doing new exercises in the gym. I get this question a lot in regards to training your glutes because most glute exercises, let's face it, they're so awkward. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I still get a little bit nervous at times. Like today, that new exercise I tried on the Smith machine, that was the first time I tried it. I wasn't even gonna do it today, but I decided that, you know what, I'm gonna be brave and do the exercise. So you gotta ask yourself what you care more of, what people think or glute gains. It's a serious question that you need to ask yourself, because when I train glutes, it is strictly to improve my physique. That is why I train anything essentially, but especially glutes. It is not meant to be sexual or to be a turn on or to draw attention to myself. I honestly used to hate training glutes, and I didn't train just strictly glutes for the longest time. Probably the first 2 years of my training, I thought that all I had to do was squat and I'd get a big butt. That wasn't the case at all. Squats are a very small portion that actually contributes to making gains in your glutes. And once I started doing a little bit more research, I realized that a lot of the exercises that required proper glute recruitment were very uncomfortable. Like, there's really not one exercise that, when it comes to glutes, that is discreet, if you will, like cable pull throughs, stiff-legged deadlifts, Romanian deadlifts, hip thrusts, kickbacks. Everything that you have to do is completely uncomfortable. So first step would be to accept that. As hard as it is, you have to not care what other people think. I know it's easier said than done. And even today, I had a moment where I didn't want to do that exercise because there's 2 other guys in the gym and I felt uncomfortable doing it. But versus reacting to that emotion, I took a step back and said to myself, what's the worst that's gonna happen? Yes, there's mirrors everywhere. Yes, they're probably gonna look, but you know what? I don't fucking care. Go ahead and look. It's not meant to draw attention. And in all honesty, people stare at each other in the gym, and it's not just because people are checking other people out. People learn from other people in the gym. When I do barbell hip thrusts, I have guys coming up to me being like, what does that work? They're curious. They don't know what it is. And yeah, there's certain exercises that really put your butt out there, but just try to think of it that even if they aren't, just try to have the perspective that maybe they are just curious as to what you are doing, because a lot of glute exercises are very abnormal and they aren't very heavily used by a lot of people yet. They're not very popularized at all. So people actually learn from other people in the gym. Even if there's fucking creeps in there, just pretend that they're just curious and they're trying to learn what you are doing. Mindset is key and perspective is key. So try not to care what other people think. And it's honestly like a muscle. You have to build up that mindset. It takes practice. So tell yourself that constantly before you go do a glute day. Tell yourself that it's okay. Don't be afraid to squeeze your glutes even though your cellulite is going to show through your leggings. It's going to be okay. While you're building up that mindset, you can do other things as well. So I find that if you train with somebody on glute day, it is a good distraction. All you have to do is worry about your training partner and what the both of you are doing. So this is a good distraction to help you ignore the other people in the gym. Make sure you have some headphones. Listen to a fucking kick-ass pump-up song so it's completely distracting. And honestly, if I have a good song going on, sometimes I don't even count my reps because all I want to do is listen to the song, and it completely allows me to tune everybody out. And another tip is to maybe wear some joggers or a longer shirt that day, or even some black leggings, like my purple leggings here. Yeah, it's not the best set of leggings to wear when you are training glutes, because when you squeeze, yeah, you can see the cellulite. And I'm at the point where I don't care anymore. I rock it. I'm proud of it, and it doesn't make me insecure. But there was a point where I was insecure, especially last year when I would train glutes and squeeze. It didn't make me want to squeeze my glutes as hard because you can see the cellulite cellulite better. It definitely shows it a lot more, but I've built up that mindset to the point where it doesn't bug me anymore and I'm proud of it. But until you get there, wear a longer shirt that covers your bum. Wear black leggings if you can, because that won't show anything through. And maybe wear some joggers or some baggier pants when you are training glutes, and that'll maybe help you feel a little bit more comfortable and less exposed. So those are just some of my tips. I hope you find them helpful. Definitely don't jeopardize your training when it comes to your glutes. Don't undervalue your training session because of what you think other people are thinking of you, and just try to have a positive mindset and work up to not caring what people think, and it'll be worth it. Your glutes will thank you. So I think I'm gonna end this video here today, you guys. I'm gonna get editing it. I got some client programs to do. I got my dog to hang out with. He is super needy right now, and yeah, hope you guys like this video. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment. You guys know the drill, right? Love you guys. See you in the next one.
There's a distance between us. It's getting hard to